Hi, my name is Candace. I am the Director of Clinician Development for WellCore, and I wanted to talk to you today about some early warning signs that there might be some memory issues going on for you or your loved one. And some of these might surprise you. The first one I want to talk about is physical symptoms. And I know usually people think about more of mental symptoms, but if people are having balance issues, trouble walking, have had more slips and falls, that could be a first indicator. The second one I want to talk about is the inability to detect sarcasm. It'll just go kind of over their head, especially if they were really sharp before. They might be unusually gullible now. The third sign is compulsive behavior. If someone all of a sudden goes to the grocery store all the time and they keep buying a can of corn, even though at their cabinets, their cupboards are full of corn, it's this repetitive compulsive behavior that might not have been there before. Feeling that things have to be done in an exact certain way and in the correct method. That might be an early warning indicator. Strange eating habits. It might surprise you to know that people are actually attracted to sweets more than any other taste when they're having some memory issues. The other thing about food I want to talk about is open your loved one's refrigerator. Look if they're expired or spoiled food. Are they eating that? Because you don't want that to happen at all, obviously. And that could be definitely a telling sign. Also being hurtful. If someone had usually been very sweet and kind, and now all of a sudden they don't really seem to care about other people's opinions or if they hurt their feelings, that can also be a sign. And that could be very hurtful and embarrassing situation. Another thing to notice is handwriting changes. Usually people that have had large handwriting all of a sudden might be writing minuscule and very small. You might also notice when they read, they might skip lines as they read, so it doesn't make sense. Staring is another indication that I want to talk about. People just seem like they're far off or kind of staring into space, trying to gather their thoughts. Frequently, they might have difficulty speaking, finding the right words, a hard time putting together their thoughts or finishing a story or even following a story for that matter. You might notice someone who had once a very rich vocabulary has a much more narrow one now. That could be an indication as well of some memory issues. Hallucinating. Maybe you've heard your loved ones say, "Oh gosh, I have bugs," and you don't see any. Or there's children that showed up, or even animals, pets, that, I swore I saw a dog walk in there. That might be a sign of something that's called Lewy body disease, which is a type of memory impairment and dementia. Next is the difficulty solving simple problems. Maybe they were really great at balancing their checkbook and doing simple math, but all of a sudden that's become more hard or it's taking a lot longer. There might be errors. Things that were once easy for them to compute are not as easy anymore. It's more complicated and complex. And making frequent or bad decisions. Falling for scams. Giving away money. Might be that they have poor hygiene. They once took pride in their appearance and now they're more disheveled. They're not doing their hair. You notice more stains on their clothing. Or they are dressing inappropriate. Maybe for the winter, instead of grabbing their coat and gloves and hat and scarf, now they're just going out in regular clothes or short sleeves. Those can all be indicators. The one thing I do want to caution you is, if people have been like this their whole lives, it's not a change. What you're looking for is there a difference from how they were prior during their life to where they are now? And just because you have one of those symptoms doesn't necessarily mean that there's something going on. But it does mean that maybe you should keep your eye on it or have an evaluation. It's always good to get a baseline of where someone is so that it can be compared later on and see what has changed, what's different. At WellCore, we have many wonderful psychologists and licensed social workers who are able to help you through discussing your concerns. And we have a program called Peace of Mind, which is a subscription program where we will be able to notice those little differences. And when we see red flags, we can let you know and get you in. It's better to be proactive and not reactive. Thanks so much.